This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's Sweetheart, Davian.
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy James.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Croc Rocker, Nickelback Popper, Curls for all the girls, the Permanator, Sam Beale. And you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, James Shea, alongside Scooter Dust.
To whomever stole my copy of Microsoft Office, I will find you. You have my word.
And it's a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with Perfection, the Permanator, Sam Beale.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Permanator here, ready to get this thing rocking and rolling.
We are ready for that as well, and for anybody that wants to see you live, rocking and rolling, where can we see you next?
So you can see me really anywhere on IWTV. I've been on Fight TV. I was on Impact Wrestling. You can see me next at LPW in Fremont, Ohio. That is going to be November 12th. And then also the following day at IBW, taking on Congo Kong up in Michigan, Detroit, Michigan area. And then, scattered out throughout the Midwest. I'm always looking to branch out of the Midwest, but that's kind of where my home is at the moment. So yeah, you can find me anywhere in your local indie promotion. Go up to the promoter, tell them you want to add a little bit more perfection to the roster, and bring me up there and see the greatness in all of its glory.
All right. And how can we follow the poem in all its glory?
Hey, I'm telling you right now, it's about time to jump on the bandwagon as we speak. You can go over there to TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, the whole shebang, and follow me at SamBeale23. The only one that's different is the TikTok. TikTok is SamBeale73.
Okay. And merchandise?
So I have a Pro Wrestling Tees website. I believe it's under The Natural Sam Beale. I might have changed it, not sure. But if you look up my name, Sam Beale, you'll be able to find me over there, get all the goodies. Also, when you got to tell your promoters to bring me in, because I got a bunch of exclusive merch for only when I'm in live performances.
All right. And you don't even have to go look into those links. All of those links to all Sam's social medias and Pro Wrestling Tees will be in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah. So let's get into it. You worked for Impact Wrestling. What was your relationship with that?
It was great, man. They gave a young kid a chance to become a young upstart, man. I'm forever grateful with Impact Wrestling. I was there for a better half of the year, getting to learn and, like, I know it's cliche to say, but like really like perform and be what I was on screen. Like, that's what I was in real life. I'm a young kid who's learning his way in this business, and that's exactly what they let me do, and I'm so thankful for it.
Okay. Scooter, you have a question.
Yes. Well, first of all, congratulations because you recently revealed that you are going to be a father for the first time. Is that
I
correct?
am. Yep, that is true. I'm very excited about that. I had to keep it a little hush hush for a little while, but we finally revealed to the world that it is happening. Little baby perms coming out next April, and it's scary, but at the same time, it's super exciting. I'm very excited to see what is in store for me.
So, while we're on the subject, let's talk a little hypothetical. Being that you are a first-time father and a pro wrestler, what would you say if your son decided that he wanted to be a wrestler straight out of high school?
I would tell him, buckle up because it's one heck of a journey, man. I'm not even like at I'm nowhere near the end of my journey. So I still will probably learn and gather a lot of information that I will tell him in those 18 years that I'm going to be continuing to do this. But yeah, like it's one journey that it's unlike anything else. It's something that relies a lot on yourself, a lot on networking, and a lot on just being a great person. Like, you don't even have to, I mean, yeah, being a good wrestler, there's millions of good wrestlers out there. But if you can, be a great person, then it's definitely something that will take you very far in this journey of professional wrestling.
All right. I like that. Just going back to your tenure at Impact, you were while you were in Impact, you were rolling with someone I know very well, and were foes with someone else I knew very well. Two people who were trained in my home promotion, the NYWC, and of course I'm referring to Brian Myers and Matt Cardona.
Major Pod cheated.
Yes, they did. What can you say you learned from either Brian or Matt or both? One piece of advice that has helped you become a better wrestler or a better person, or any sage words of wisdom from them?
Yeah, so obviously I was with Brian being a part of his learning tree, and I was the student to his teacher, and it's true. That's really what I was. I got to watch him handle the business aspect of wrestling. To watch him go out there and be the superstar that he is. And I kind of adapted a lot of what he did, and it really has helped me relieve a lot of pressure from me when I go out to wrestle. But yeah, Brian always told me, he always told me we were meant to do this, so go out there and show them why you're doing this. And it was an incredible journey, not journey, but it was a journey, but it was an incredible time to be under his wing and just kind of watch his mannerisms in the back out there at the ring, the whole shebang. It was an incredible time.
And I just had something in my mind. That's it. And yes or no to this, any chance we could be seeing Sam Beale in Wrestle Pro or Creative Pro in the future?
Hey, never say never. I hope to be over there very soon. We'll see what happens, but yeah, I've got a good rep with Brian over there, so he knows who I am and he knows what I'm capable of, and so we'll see what happens.
All right.
Just don't get in the ring with Brian because he cheats.
Is it cheating, or is it just being a very good opportunistic person?
Well, we would say opportunistic. Jack Tomlinson would say cheating.
I would say both, since I am both for and against him at the same time for different reasons. Jay, over to you.
Let's go back to you becoming a new father. How has getting that news changed your perspective on pro wrestling?
I'll say one thing. It's definitely motivated me more to be be the best wrestler I can be, to keep getting out there and showing my face to everywhere I can go. Because honestly, the dream would be to have him be able to watch me on TV one day. I know he can go back and watch some stuff from when I was on Impact and everything, but I want to be able to, perform in his light and, see him get all excited about watching me wrestle and do the thing that I love. That's something that's driving me every single day I wake up, when it's in the gym, the extra rep, or driving to a long show when I don't really want to do it. I know that I have to do it, or going through the curtain, performing on and putting on one of the best shows I can put on every single time I go out there. It's knowing that soon he'll be able to watch me do what I love. That's what's driving me every day.
All right. Now, you had a match with Eddie Edwards on Before the Impact, and I don't know if you watch a lot of New Japan, but it did feel like it was a young lion match, where the veteran is essentially teaching the student in front of the camera rather than a practice match in the back. Was that the case, or what could you tell us about that match?
I think that was the match that kind of, took me out of the light of just being another guy. I was able to stand in there. I mean, obviously, I lost to Eddie Edwards. I mean, as a lot of people can say that they have, because Eddie Edwards is one of the best in the world to going. But I was also able to hold my own in there. I showed the world what I was capable of. And I actually probably showed Eddie what I was capable of, and what he saw my weaknesses and capitalized on those. But yeah, it definitely was a great learning experience that kind of I would say popped me off. Gave me light that I didn't have before.
That's awesome. Swiddle, you have a question.
Yes. Now, this is not something we typically like to do on Wrestling With, but given that it's a very unique circumstance, I'm very curious about this. Your first match, at least according to Cage Match, was a fatal four-way match.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what is the mindset of something like that being your first match? Because typically the common convention is it's either a singles match or it's a battle royal, typically. So what is the mindset of you going out there in your first official match, and not only do you have to focus on one, but three opponents at the same time?
So, I mean, thinking back on that match, I wanted to go through the curtain and have people know who I was, I wanted them to know who I was, and then when I left the ring, they will remember who I was. That was kind of my whole mindset on that match, thinking back on it. I remembered, obviously, you have to be able to be prepared for three different guys. But yeah, would I have loved to have a singles match in my first match ever? Yeah, but I'm one that will always ask for the challenge. I never want to shy away from a challenge, whether it be in wrestling or in life and anything in general. And I think that's exactly what a Fatal 4-Way was. And what better way to do that than in my very first match ever.
All right. All right. James.
Yes. Can you tell us about wrestling Satoshi Kojima? You know, obviously a legend in the business.
Yeah, it was an incredible time, man. It was something that was almost kind of like eye-opening and mouth-dropping. Like, wow, I'm actually in the ring with this guy. He's done and seen it all, and Sam Beale, little kid from Rossford, Ohio, is in the ring with a guy who's been all over the world, who's won numerous championships, who a lot of people idolize. I was able to go toe-to-toe with him, and that's something that's really, really cool, and I think it speaks volumes for who I was or who I am as a competitor, and you know, I'm forever grateful for Impact to giving me that opportunity to be in the ring with a guy like that.
Now, you know, obviously you did some really great things with Impact Wrestling, and it was all, you know, it seems like it was all a positive experience. But does it kind of sour a little bit because most of it was during the pandemic era, where there wasn't a lot of crowds the in the arena?
I don't think so. I actually would say that I was actually in Impact at the perfect time. I got to see three different sides of the Impact Wrestling with the no arena or the closed arena tapings, and then we did have Slammiversary where there was a limited amount of fans, and then I was also on a year ago. I was on Bound for Glory in front of Sam's Town and with a bunch of fans. So I was able to see three different sides of the Impact Wrestling, and I think all three taught me in its own unique, special way. And I think it was a blessing to be able to do what I did in front of nobody, in front of a little amount of people, and then in front of a load of people. It was great. It was a good learning experience. It's something that I cherish every single day that I got to do. And I think it speaks volume for my work that I'm doing right now. I think a lot of what I'm doing right now is kudos to what I got to learn through Impact Wrestling.
How do you adjust your mindset? You know, going from no people to some people to a lot of people.
Man, I will tell you that it was the most nerve-wracking thing that I ever had to adjust to. Even so with no people, it was still pretty nerve-wracking, and I felt a lot of pressure on myself. I put a lot of pressure on myself as well because it feels like you're under a microscope. Like everybody in the back is watching your match at that moment. You know, all the higher ups, everybody, and then also, I mean, you have the millions of fans that are watching when it airs. So you have a lot of people eyeing you down a scope, and it's only you. You know, you don't get to see the fan reactions and all that. And then when it comes to a little bit of people, it was another nerve-wracking experience. You got to think this is the first time fans are going to ever see me live. I got to make sure that they enjoy their time and, I'm somebody that remembered me. And then I had that doubt in my head, well, what if they didn't watch? And what if they don't know who I am and I get zero reaction? So that was kind of something. And then, go to a lot of people, man, there's a lot of people here. So it's a lot of eyes all on the ring at one time on you. So you got to be able to put your best foot forward and, just you feel that pressure of everybody watching you. And it was awesome though, because every single step of the way, whether it be the first time I was there until the last time I was there, I felt like I delivered and I stepped up to the plate the best that I could.
You could say you were under the learning tree the whole time.
Yeah.
Alright, Scooter, you have a question.
Yes. Now, Hmm.
Don't forget the Burger King question.
I will Burger King your face.
I prefer Wendy's.
Now, of course, you are the Permanator. You have one, if not the best head of hair in all of professional wrestling. One, how do you maintain it and keep it looking so full and shimmery? And two, you also used to have a very short, almost military-esque crew cut. What inspired you to grow that gorgeous curly mane that is iconically associated with quite a few big names in wrestling history?
So, the first question was, how do I maintain it? Yeah, I actually use shampoo from Walmart and conditioner from Walmart. It's Tresemme. It's 7 times curls, so it really brings out the luscious curls for the girls. But yeah, typically my mom, she cuts it because she's a hairdresser, and she is able to perm it. So she does the whole shebang. I tell everybody it's her finest work. She should make $1 million off my hair alone, but luckily I get to get it for free. But yeah, what inspired me to do this wasn't anything to do with wrestling at all. Like, it had nothing to do with wrestling. I never even thought of it to become part of who I was as a wrestler or even as a person. Originally, I go to this country concert every year in Michigan, and my buddies and I were like, let's all grow out mullets for this concert next year. And when we started to grow it out, like, I was the only one who kind of stuck with it besides one other buddy of mine. His name's Michael Reno. He's one of my best friends, and he also grew it out with me. And then COVID hit, so the concert got canceled. So we were like, well, we got to grow it out for another year. And then we started growing it out again, and like that's when I started wrestling a lot, and people like loved the mullet, and it just became who I was. I remember because it used to be a straight, like you said, military cut. I used to have a straight mullet, like it was really straight. And I saw somebody do like the curly party half of their mullet, and like I was like, dang, that's kind of funny. I wish I could do that. I was like, what if we did the whole thing curled? And my mom thought it was the funniest thing ever. She's like, yeah, let's try it. So we permed it one time, and I'm not kidding you, when she took out the perm rods, she was literally laughing so hard she peed herself. she thought it was the funniest thing ever, and I did too. And like ever since that day, like I've adapted it to who I am, and I love it. Every time I look in the mirror and I see that head of hair, I'm like, dang, ain't nobody having nothing like this, man. There's nothing that compares to this in wrestling or even in the world. I see they have this mullet competition, right? I'm like, dude, I blow all these guys out of the water. They wish their mullet was this good.
I love it. I love it. All right, James.
Yes. Can you tell us about Duke Winchester?
Duke Winchester. What a ladies' man he is, right? Am I right? Yeah, he's a bad son of a gun, man. He goes out there, guns a-blazing, reckless. He isn't careful, and he loves to have a good time. And he's always looking to charm the ladies. I'll know that.
Are we talking about Duke or Sam Beale right now?
Ooh, wait a minute. I think you just described both of them. I'm just the modern day Duke Winchester, baby.
How did that come about anyway?
So Impact does the IPW shows, or the IPWF shows, and they wanted to use me. Because I mean, if we're going to be honest here, I fit the mold quite well. Oops, sorry, my dog just started shaking.
Oh, no worries.
But yeah, no, they decided they wanted to use me, and they gave me like a mold of what they wanted to see, and I put it together for them, and they loved it. So I got to go out there and be Duke Winchester. But really, if we're all going to be honest here, I really got to go out there and be Sam Beale, just from the 1980s.
Let's talk about, Sam Beale. While you was the RPW champion, you beat Trey Miguel.
I did.
What did that mean to you, at that point in your career, and now looking back on it?
It was awesome, man. Like I was able to wrestle one of my best friends. I mean, Trey and I are to this day like best friends. He's somebody I look up to. I learned from. He's really my trainer. So being able to wrestle somebody like that is it's amazing. And I got to do it. I've got to do it 3 times, or maybe more than that. No, a couple times more than that.
It was a few times.
Yeah, we've wrestled quite a few times actually. But honestly, every time that we get in the ring, I learn something more about who I am as a wrestler and like what it takes to actually be a wrestler. So it's awesome. I'm very thankful for my relationship with Trey, not only as like a student trainer, but also as a best friend. Like he's going to be in my wedding one day. When that happens after the baby, he's going to be a part of my wedding. That's the kind of person or our relationship we have.
Oh, that's awesome. And you won that title in a tournament, and you were the inaugural RPW champion, correct?
I was actually, yes. I was the very first ever RPW champion. I think there's only been 2, so that says a lot about that championship. Takes a lot to win it. I was luckily the first. Not luckily, I would say probably. I deserved that. I won that. I earned that. I worked hard to get to where I was, and I did it.
What does it kind of mean to you for a company to be their first champion and kind of put the strap on you and say, this is the guy that's going to represent us?
I've had a couple of moments like that, actually, if we're going to be honest. So obviously the RPW one, that one was crazy. To be their first ever, that means a lot to me, that they trusted me and thought that I was ready to represent their company as their first champion. But another one that really stood out to me was during the pandemic. I was the Eclipse Legacy champion. That is a 4-hour drive from my doorstep. So I am like they believed in me and they saw something in me to represent their company as their champion, and I was 4 hours away. Like I live 4 hours away. Like just that when they told me, or when I went out there and won that belt, like it was awesome. I felt very honored. Like they believed in me, and it was really cool.
All right, Scooter, you have a question.
Yes. Now, with those luscious curls, and so some might say not an eerie resemblance, but you could easily pass for a few people. Have there been any moments where you have been confused by fans for, just 2 off the top of my head, Brian Pillman Jr. or Kenny Omega?
Actually, all of them. I've been accused of being a lot of different people, and to be honest, like I just don't agree. I mean, like, how do I put this? They have their own unique style of hair, and I as well. Like I don't have, our hairs aren't, like, they're similar, but they're not the same. So it doesn't like grind my gears that people say that and like compare me to them, because they're both incredible talents and they both have an incredible set of hair on them. But I do think I stand out and I'm my own person.
All right. Okay. I love that. Given that you're both Ohio born and bred, has there ever been the how do I put this? Has the urge to want to either face or team with Brian Pillman Jr. Has that ever come up? Because I'm going back to the hair, the thing, and I mean, as much as I love Brian Pillman Jr., I kind of don't like Griff Garrison. So I think you would be a great replacement. Tony, if you're listening, have you wanted to work with Brian based on kind of that fact alone, or?
I wouldn't say that. I definitely want to work with Brian Pillman. I think Brian's one of the most talented guys going today, and he's super young, so it's like a very good opportunity to pick a brain of somebody who's been places and who has been around the wrestling world for a very long time, but he's also kind of my age. So like, I think working him and then also being in a tag team with him could really work out.
Oh, all right. Yeah, James, I'll throw it back to you before I ask this next question.
Just to add to that, I kind of feel if you're being compared to Kenny Omega, in-ring wise, that's a compliment. Hair-wise,
Absolutely.
those are fighting modes.
Yeah, I guess I'd say the same.
Alright, well that does bring us to our next segment. Sam Beale's Bizarre Adventure. Your pro wrestler that goes up and down the road and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are found to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
So what was the description again? I'm sorry.
Just a road story that is maybe weird, crazy, bizarre, funny.
I'll tell you the best road story. Not the best road story, because it was not very, very fun. I guess I would say the most bizarre thing that happened to us. Trey and I were heading out to Warrior Wrestling out in Chicago, and it was probably about 2 years ago when they did the Stadium Series. It was the first time I got in the car with Trey. It kind of was like the kickstart of our relationship. We drove out to the show. We both wrestled, had a great show. It was incredible. And on our way back from Chicago, it's about a 4 hour drive. So with the time difference, or like the time zone change, it jumps up to being a 5 hour drive.
Yeah.
So we left around 11 o'clock, I believe it was. It was 2 or 3 hours 2 hours into our drive. So it would have been 12:01, but we jumped over time zone, so it was 2 o'clock in the morning. We got on the turnpike. We were on the turnpike the whole time, I'm sorry. And then all of a sudden, like 2 or 3 cars in front of us, the traffic just stops. And we're kind of like confused, like what's going on? Like the traffic stopped, obviously by the cops, but there was nothing in front of us, like an accident. Nothing was really making this happen. We were so confused by it. Well, an hour went by and we didn't move. Another hour went by and we didn't move. Meanwhile, if we have a 2 hour drive back home and it's now 4 in the morning, and like Trey was able to sleep because he was in the passenger seat, but I was driving. So like we were at the front of this. If I were to fall asleep, then, we would just be in the middle of the road and probably blocking traffic again. So we were like, I had to stay awake the whole time. And another hour went by and it's now 5 o'clock in the morning and they finally let us go. And like the sun was coming up, and I was just so like infuriated. Like I was like, oh man, this is just annoying. Well, we still had the 2-hour drive home, so we drove 2 hours, and we're not even 15 minutes from Trey's house that I had to drop him off at, which means I'm 10 minutes from my house because that's how close we live together. But we are getting off the turnpike, and Trey and I are just laughing about like, man, it's so annoying that it was laughable, you know. And I'm looking over at him, and like he just goes, "Oh crap!" And then I'm like, "What do you mean?" And I thought we were about to get T-boned, but like where we were on the road, there was no intersection. So I was like, "What is he saying?" And then all of a sudden, bam! A deer drills my like door, like my driver's side door, wraps around the driver's side door and the back seat door of my Jeep. And I'm just like expecting to tumble because I was like, oh, we're gonna get T-boned. So, and then we didn't. And then we look in the rearview mirror, and this deer's just freaking in the middle of the road, just squealing and dying. And I'm like just upset because of what all just happened. And then we pull over, and you know, meanwhile, I just got this car. Like this was a brand new car, the first time I ever bought my own car. It was like 3 weeks old, and we pull over, and you couldn't even open the driver's side door. So like I drove, dropped him off, and I remember when I got home, it was like 7:30, 8 o'clock. I'm not kidding you. I went up into my room, locked the door, and I didn't talk to civilization for like two days after that. Like my family was actually worried about me because I just was like in my room. I didn't leave it. I was so upset. And yeah, it was a crazy story to say the least, but at the same time, like, you know, it made for a good story.
And the deer, it just decided to ram?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like most people are like, "Oh, I hit a deer," right? Like, no, this deer decided to hit me. It saw my red Jeep and was like, "You know what? I kind of want to see if it holds up if I run into it," and then just drilled me.
Oh, that's so crazy.
I know.
Alright, well, thank you for sharing that very bizarre adventure. Alright, Scooter. Oh, did we lose Scooter?
No, you didn't. So, you were homecoming king in high school. There's got to be an interesting story behind that.
Yeah, I was actually homecoming king. I mean, I don't know if it's an interesting story. My friends and everybody voted for me to win. I was in high school. I was able to, you know, I mingled with everybody. I played football and I played sports, so I had a lot of best friends in that aspect. You know, a lot of the jocks, but I also played video games, and I was in drama club, and was able to, you know, mingle with all those people as well. I don't think I had one enemy in high school. I was friends with pretty much everybody.
All right. A few, I think, short answer questions here. You posted a photo on your Instagram of you at graduation, and I'm a big cigar guy, and you're holding a cigar in that photo.
Yeah.
Are you a cigar guy, or was that just for dramatic effect?
A little bit of both. I'm not a huge cigar guy, but I do enjoy smoking cigars. I have a buddy who invites me to his cigar shop quite a few times, and we kind of sit there, drink a whiskey, smoke a couple cigars, and just talk about life. So that's something I will definitely be doing later on in life, like being a part of one of those.
I'm booking the first flight out there. I'm a cigar fanatic. I'm smoking one right now. In fact, I think the only person that may have smoked They smoke more cigars than me is Winston Churchill. I have. Oh, why should Busch Beer sponsor you and not your sister?
Yeah, because if you see those pictures over, like, come on, I obviously won that. She thought it was a game, and I just had to let her know that I won the game. I mean, I am Busch Light. Like, Busch Light is me. The mullet, the curls, the Busch Light themed wrestling gear, like everything about it. That's me. And truthfully, like, it's the best tasting beer there ever was. Like, I could sit there and drink a Busch Light heavy. I could drink a Busch Light. I could drink a Busch Apple. I could drink anything to do with it, and it's amazing.
Well, I used to. One of my typical vacation spots was Busch Gardens every summer, and we'd always go on the brewery tour. So you may have to conquer Busch Gardens. Finally, I think before we roll on, now again, you're Ohio born and bred, but through the grapevine, you're a big Detroit fan?
I am. I'm everything to do with Michigan. I like Michigan football. I like Detroit Lions football. I like the Detroit Tigers, Red Wings, all of them. You know them. I love them. I don't know. I have always been a guy who loves the underdog story, and what more underdog than the Detroit Lions? They haven't won anything ever. I love the Tigers. I mean, the Tigers were the one team that I guess I was spoiled with, because 2006 to 2016-ish area, like those 10 years when I was growing up, they were great. They were so fun to watch. Great baseball. I think two World Series berths, like numerous playoff runs. It was great to be a fan of them. Now I'm stuck with their crappy ways now. So they've kind of fallen into the Detroit Lions-esque franchise. But, you know, I mean, I'll always root for Detroit. Luckily, we're actually getting some good Michigan football the last 2 years. So hopefully that continues. But, yeah, it's a struggle, but I am loyal, and I will always love my Michigan team.
2006, they almost came face to face with my team.
New York Mets?
Yep.
Yeah, wasn't that the year Andy Chavez, like, it bounced off his glove and went over?
Yes, and who was it? In the final out of the series ended with Beltran going out on a no strike. Oh, man. So no Browns, no Bengals, no Guardians, Reds, Blue Jackets, anything like that.
Nope. I hate Ohio teams. Love where I'm from, but I'm a Michigan guy through and through. Michigan fan, at least, from through and through.
All right. James, should you have anything else, or should we move on to the good one? Okay.
Can you tell us about Chuck Loves Chuck?
What was that?
Can you tell us about Chuck Loves Chuck?
Chuck Loves Chuck?
Yes.
I can't actually. What's the context?
Another one of our interviewees asked me to tell you Chuck loves Chuck.
Who is the interviewee?
Crash Jackson.
Yeah. Oh, I love Chuck too. So it's a little inside joke we have with a bunch of buddies in the wrestling world. So if I let everybody in on it, I can't. Then it wouldn't be an inside joke anymore. So I'm gonna keep that I'm gonna keep that a little bit secret, but next time you talk to your boy Crash, you tell him Chuck absolutely loves Chuck.
Well, Shazam.
Damn, I really want to know. No. I want to be in on the joke.
Maybe one day.
Right.
We could call you Chuck James, and then you could be in on it.
Now, has Sam Beale ever been on Beale Street?
I have not down in Memphis. I need to. I need to go down to Memphis and take a picture there because I am Sam Beale and that is my street, right?
Yeah.
But I was in Sam's Town in Las Vegas, so I guess that's got to count for something, right?
Definitely.
I mean, and then how often do you shop at Sam's Club?
Never. I'm a Costco guy.
Yes, as am I. And there's also a quite a well-known Beale Street in upstate New York, which it's the movie If Beale Street Could Talk was based on. Everybody thinks that's about the Memphis Beale Street, but it's actually not.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Would you drive down Beale Street in your El Camino?
I would absolutely do that. That would be awesome. It's actually my grandpa's El Camino. He
Really?
passed away.
Oh.
Yeah, he passed away, and it's my dad's. My dad's now. He just stores it at my house, so I'm able to take it out and spin it around for a little bit.
It looks completely restored.
Yeah, he did a really good job at keeping it uptight and clean.
All right.
I think it's time for the colossal question, too.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. All right. It's time for this. It's the colossal question here on Wrestling With. Hypothetical situation. Let's say they are making a blockbuster movie about Sam Beale's wrestling career. And of course, every great blockbuster movie has a blockbuster soundtrack to go with it. And of course, blockbuster, I mean a huge film, not the video store. What would be 3 to 5 songs on the soundtrack to the Sam Beale wrestling career movie?
I actually am prepared for that. So I would put I Lived by One Republic. That would be like the main song. This One's For You by Luke Combs.
Okay.
Detours by Jordan Davis.
Okay.
Let It Rock.
Like Kevin Rudolph, nice.
Yeah.
Are we talking just the Kevin Rudolph version or the with Lil Wayne?
With Lil Wayne.
Okay.
And then Doing This by Luke Combs.
That's a solid 5 picks. And I like
Absolutely,
the diversity of it all as well.
Yeah. One of my main goals in wrestling is to actually have that happen. Not like a movie, like a blockbuster movie, but like a documentary. Like somebody sees my wrestling career and is like, you know what, I wanna create a documentary about you. And then one day that I want those 5 songs in it.
All right. Yeah.
Do you lock it in?
Do I what?
Do you lock it in?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right. All right. Okay. And while it might not be a reality now, people may want to keep an eye out for a potential playlist featuring these songs. More on that to come later in the future. Now, okay, we've got the soundtrack. Great. Awesome. Now we move on to casting. Who would play Sam Beale in the Sam Beale wrestling career movie? And you cannot say yourself because you are obliged to do a Stan Lee type cameo. And
I'm gonna-
James wants the second part of this.
I'm gonna say Owen Wilson.
Wow.
Alright, yeah, I can see that.
That would be who I'd pick. He's funny and he has nice hair.
Okay.
Definitely Owen Wilson. Yep.
Alright.
James, follow up.
Yeah, and obviously every movie has a supporting cast. Who would be 3 people in your movie, and who would play them? I feel like Trey Miguel needs to be one of them, right?
Oh, absolutely. Trey Miguel would be one of them. So I'm gonna say 3, and this is about my wrestling career. So Trey Miguel. I want Kevin Hart to play Trey.
Okay.
Chris Hemsworth is going to play one of my best friends who started in wrestling with me, and he still wrestles today. His name's Sherman Walker.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But Chris Hemsworth is going to be like Fat Thor Chris Hemsworth.
Okay.
And then my fiance, she is going to be played by... Ooh, this is tough. The person I think looks like her the most, she's from the 100. Her name is Lindsay Morgan. She plays Raven Reyes in the 100.
Yeah. All right.
Sounding like a great movie so far.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think this should happen. Actually, let's just get a director.
Yes. Let's get somebody on board for this and start pre-selling tickets. Okay. Can you tell us about the little Spoon Snatchers?
So the Little Spoon Snatchers, we have kind of taken a little bit of a hiatus. A lot of things have been going on. One of my buddies is getting married, and the other person is actually Skippy that I was talking about, or Travis. We have our own little podcast where we like to do a lot of fun little quirky little things, whether it be a sports battle or doing a food eating contest. We just like to talk about everything. We are 3 very unique guys, and we want to share that uniqueness with the rest of the world.
Alright, and that's on YouTube, correct?
It's on YouTube. You can find it on any other podcast there's around. We need to start doing it again. Like I said, with my buddy getting married, we kind of took some time off. So we'll get back to it. So I definitely would say go check us out. We're on TikTok, do a lot of funny little TikToks and everything like that.
And I'll put the link to that to the show in the description of the video below as well. We need more guest that Pokemon, obviously.
Absolutely. Did you guys watch that one?
I watched that one, yes.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good one.
My
fiance was trying to explain to us Pokemon, and it was challenging.
She did a really good job, though. When she said emo board, and he got it immediately, I believe Logan got it.
Yeah.
Was hilarious.
Oh man.
Alright, on to a controversial subject. Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
So personally, since I've worked at a pizza place before, actually not too long ago, I would say it's definitely. I'm not mad at people for liking it. I personally don't prefer it, but it definitely has its place on pizza.
Alright, so you're not pro pineapple on pizza, but you're not against people that are pro pineapple.
Yeah, that's exactly how I would say it.
Alright. What's your spirit Pokemon?
What's my favorite Pokemon?
Spirit Pokemon. The one you identify
Spirit.
most with.
That's a good question. I would say probably my favorite. I would say Mudkip. He's a water and a mud type, I guess you could say, ground type. But he grows up to be like a bad mamma jamma, and he's not afraid to get down and dirty with it, you know. And he's blue. Blue is my favorite color.
All right. What is question will be asked in a wrestling interview? Would you ever consider wrestling a Rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual Rock.
Like a rock, like would I ever wrestle a rock, like an inanimate object?
Yes.
I mean, I'm gonna have to say no.
Well, just for context, there's this wrestler named Psycho Mike that wrestled an actual Rock for over 15 minutes in a Tungsten Man match, an Iron Man match that lasted for 2 weeks.
Wow, I have never heard of that. That's crazy.
Yeah, he didn't win either.
He lost to The Rock.
Well, technically it was a tie.
Oh, that's funny.
And we love Tracy Smothers on the show. Do you know the acronym for THUG? THUG.
I do not.
Scooter?
T is for terrible. H is for hell. U is for ugly. And G is for jail. 'Cause a thug can't spell. And neither can Ohio sports teams.
I've never heard that. That's hilarious.
Yeah, trying to keep the memory of the late great Tracy Smothers alive.
Tracy's one of the best, man.
Yes, love Tracy. On a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I see myself traveling all over the country, hopefully even internationally, just continually doing what I love, performing in front of a lot of people, expanding my horizons to elsewhere. I would love to sign a contract somewhere, but at the end of the day, that's not everything that I want. I want to continue I want to begin being a fantastic father, and just continue showing him the ways of being a man.
Yeah, you'll be having a 5-year-old at that point.
Yeah.
And what's a match people should go out of their way to see that best shows off what Sam Beale is all about?
I would say it's going to be airing in a couple weeks. A match with Trey Miguel at Unsanctioned Pro on IWTV. It's a part of WrestleStock. That match is phenomenal. It's everything that I am as a wrestler and everything, I think Trey is as a wrestler. Just two hard-nosed competitors.
And is there something on YouTube we could find right now?
Yeah, so there's a lot of matches out there on YouTube right now, but I would say probably my favorite one would have to be either my match this past weekend with the Dread King Logan, or against Kristian Robinson from Unsanctioned versus OWA. That one's out there. Yeah, Kristian's a man. Him and I put on a really good show.
Kristian was essentially our first ever interview.
Really?
Yes, so
That's
we have
awesome.
a lot of love for Kristian.
Kristian's a great dude, man. He's gonna be a superstar in this business. He just needs to get the right set of eyes on him, and he's gonna go far.
Absolutely. And I know for sure the match with Kristian is on YouTube. I'll put that match in the description of the video below for on YouTube and Castbox for anybody that hasn't seen it, wants to rewatch it, etc. And since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom. This is our
Oh boy.
This is our speed round, our bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Dolph Ziggler.
Worst wrestler.
Rusev.
Ooh. Your main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
John Cena.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Drew McIntyre's Broken Dreams.
That's an underappreciated one for sure.
It's the best one, man.
Yeah. Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is...
Kayfabe is alive. It's alive, but it's hanging on by a thread.
Okay,
But with the way the world works now with social media and everything, like it's very difficult to keep it as discreet as we'd like it to be.
Well, we also would have accepted as quite good on toast.
Squash. Fruit or vegetable?
Squash, fruit or vegetable? It's gross, so it can be a vegetable.
Well, technically it is a fruit. It's that tomato logic.
Tomatoes are gross.
Well, you're part of Squash Squad now, and that means a hell of a lot more.
Yeah.
New Japan wrestler Taichi, his ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more outside of the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
Something to butt cheek. What was it? I'm sorry.
Trunks to butt cheek ratio.
Trunks to butt cheek ratio.
Yes.
Ooh, I wear biker shorts, so my butt cheeks do not hang out. I'm gonna have to go with no butt cheeks out.
Alright, no cheeks. And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
Have I ever had a conversation about Darby Allin?
In a supermarket with a stranger.
No, I have not.
And that is the correct answer. And that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with us, Sam.
Absolutely. Thanks you guys for having me. It was different. It was a different interview, and I'm thankful for it.
We'd like to keep it interesting for our guests.
You guys definitely do that.
Ken, once again, can you tell us where we can find you on social media?
So you can find me on Sam Beale 23 on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and then Sam Beale 73 on TikTok. Go over there and follow me on TikTok. Like all my stuff. I like to try to post a lot of YouTube or highlights to it and everything. So definitely head on over there.
And of course, you don't even have to go looking for those. All of the links to all his social media and for Wrestling TV will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox, simply go into the description, click the link, and a new tab will appear on whatever device you're on. You have no excuse. You've been listening to him for a little over an hour. Buy a damn short. Of course, thank you for watching. for listening to us. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, or on YouTube and Castbox. Of course, this show is sponsored by World Energy and Fairlight Coffee. Join us next Tuesday and Wednesday for another incredible interview. You can follow the show at Wrestling with E on Twitter for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and much, much more. On Instagram at Wrestling with E as well. You can follow me personally at JamesJ993. Where can we find Scooter?
As always, you can find me on my stand-up tour live from Camp Lejeune. Free water for everybody that attends. And of course, find me on Twitter at ScooterDust. Find me, James, and Ryan Dust hosting The Remix on YouTube. A premier audio companion experience for all your alternate commentary needs for WWE Premium live events the next time we come to you. Survivor Series, War Games. That's going to be something. And of course, revel in my Twitch antics as I embark on my first ever Dungeons & Dragons campaign along with Rico Constantino Jr. and the rest of the Smoking Dragons clan. Twitch.tv/Smoking Dragons.
Now, Sam, when I say wrestling wit, you say entertainment, okay?
Mm-hmm.
For our very special guest, Sam Beale, Kaliko Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with
Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.